Oh, it's BIS-MAS Christmas Week 2! This is the Bionicle Inspiration Series where we showcase MOCs from across the community, but during December we have a BIS-MAS Christmas where we showcase your MOCs. So you can submit MOCs to the submission email and I'll do my best to feature them where I can during a BIS-MAS Christmas, and if they're not featured during a BIS-MAS Christmas, they'll be featured in other future episodes, or at least I'll do my best to, because after my announcement for BIS-MAS Christmas and then the first episode, y'all sent me a lot of submissions. I think I got like 50, 60, 70. There's a lot. So I'm going to cover as many as I can, but, there's only so much time I can allocate towards a BIS episode because they actually take a long time to record, and I got other stuff to do as well. So I do my best. I'll try to feature as many as I can, but let's immediately dive in and talk about your MOCs in today's episode. The first fan-submitted MOC today is the Bioluminescent Terror, and it's by Takota. So we've got some legendary pieces in action here. I've always loved Duncan and his big oversized glow-in-the-dark headpiece. Obviously that piece is being used. And then we've also got pieces from the ever-awesome set Nocturne. And he had a few different glow-in-the-dark pieces, also his headpiece, and then also these glow-in-the-dark spike pieces. So those specific parts have also been used here. And putting them together like that, well, it all works to very great avail. There's just a perfect combination of pieces here, and it really, really effectively conveys that fish look. It's also nice to see Duncan's head working really well to sort of shape the overall scale of the build. The body really does kind of branch out of that headpiece there and sort of like sets the scene, sets the sizing of the MOC. You know, I always look at the Duncan headpiece and associate it as a detached head that has a neck coming out of it. So seeing it be a bit more fish-like here where there isn't a neck, it just immediately moves into the rest of the body. It's surprising it's surprisingly fitting how well it works in this context. You know, it was an underwater character. It makes sense that it could also work on an underwater fish. So it's a pleasant surprise. Now, I like the fins on this MOC too. It uses these curved blue spike pieces. Now, these appeared on the Hero Factory set Vapor, the specific set where he was fighting off with Bulk. And yeah, it's a great addition here when it's partnered up with that fin piece. There's something just kind of perfectly aquatic and fish-like about this, but the spiky nature of it makes it feel more like a kind of creature that you would see dwelling in the depths of the ocean. It's got a little slight tinge of sinister to it, because some of the creatures that dwell deep beneath the ocean in the real world and in fantasy worlds, they're often a little bit more creepy and weird looking. So a great inclusion there, and overall a really solid and scary looking sea creature build. Very nice work. The Stalker of the Sands is up next, and this is built by Ezreal. I adore this MOC, so adore Ezreal, he's a very nice guy. But let's check out this mouth design. It's using two of these jaw pieces that appeared on the Teal Ninjago Dragon set, which to this day remains an incredible set with a brilliant array of pieces. So if you're looking to buy a slightly older retired set, that's one I would recommend. But this jaw piece is a little bit more distinct because the teeth jut out in weird directions. It's different from your typical jaw or like kind of dragon mouth piece where the teeth are a little bit more uniform. It's distinct and cool. And because of that, it has this wonderful like savaged or deranged look to it. And it looks even better within the context of this build because, when it's coupled with these cloth pieces and the chains wrapped around it, you really get the sense that if those wraps and the chains come off, that there'd be some unearthly, horrifying monster head underneath there. Or it could even be that this is some horrific creature with a face that's just too terrifying to look at, so you need to wrap it up, otherwise it's a little bit too sinister and creepy looking. But either way, it's an awesome looking face design as it appears here, and it very much leans into those like horror scary elements, which works very well. Oh, and if you're wondering, by the way, these cloth pieces, they come in dark tan, and they appear as the wings on the Harry Potter Hungarian Horntail set. I've always loved this cloth piece, and seeing it used so well here on Ezreal's MOC, both on the head design and the arm design, it's just a good testament to how helpful that specific cloth piece can be. Definitely, if you don't have that Hungarian Horntail set, go and grab some before it retires, because it's such an awesome parts pack, and it's a really solid build as well. Now, of course, this cloth piece has tattered holes in it, and Ezreal has strategically left one of these tattered holes around where the eye would be on the creature, if it had eyes. Now, I love this. You sometimes see this throughout character design on characters that are either like blind or they have something covering their eyes. Like Kanan, for example, here. He has these markings which signify where the eyes are, and it just makes it a little bit easier to differentiate where their eyes would be. You know, it sort of creates like a pseudo eye so that you get a better feeling of where the facial features are, and it allows you to kind of like read the character a little bit better and almost sort of project emotion onto it. So placing this tattered hole where the eye would likely be on the MOC is smart. It makes it a little bit easier to comprehend the head design. That's a subtle detail, but I think it's a very fitting and appropriate one that benefits the MOC in a really good way. Now you combine that with all of these like cool skeletal features on the body design, the nice spiky hands and the spikes on the feet, and you got yourself something really, really impressive. This is a lovely MOC. So on Instagram, this MOC was just referred to as their SelfMark. They didn't actually give a name for it. If that's incorrect and they do have a name, let me know in the comments below and I'll pin that comment so that people can see what this MOC is actually called, but it is built by Bionic Forge. So we've got a really solid and well-built MOC here, and it uses some third-party pieces. So this is kind of roughly paraphrasing from their Instagram. He says that the custom mask was made by a person named Niels. You can find them on Instagram. But it was actually painted by Bionic Forge to be this beautiful olive green color. And that's some good color matching too. That looks very, very close to the official olive green color. So good job hunting down the exact right paint for that. And then he said he's also added on some third-party pieces from a company known as Webrick. So yeah, it's always nice to see custom elements used on a MOC, and I really do love that mask design. It's very different and very distinct, and it just feels so in the vein of Bionicle, which is, yeah, it's definitely what you want when you're using a custom mask. It's also great to see so much olive green combined with a few different metallic green Technic panel pieces. That metallic green is a surprisingly rare color actually, and it's nice to see it partnered up very well with olive green. It's a good combination there. But speaking of good combinations and nice color schemes and stuff, the best part of this MOC has to be the incredible color scheme of it. It's using olive green, like I said, which is always a stunning color, but when you combine it with that pearl sand blue, oh, it's very nice. Now, that is another rarer color that's only appeared on the one Technic set, the Super Battle Droid set. I'm pretty sure. I don't think it appeared on any other set, but that Super Battle Droid is very much known for that specific pearl sand blue color. But yeah, olive green and pearl sand blue. What a beautiful color combination. I don't think I've ever seen those two put together like that, but wow. It gives off this fantastic like sci-fi soldier vibe. It's so like weirdly futuristic and surprisingly primitive at the same time. It's really cool and really different. So yeah, awesome to see that. And when it's coupled with a little bit of dark bluish gray as well, it just works. It works really, really well. So absolutely adore this MOC here. Oh yeah, especially with those very subtle hints of magenta too. It's a surprising amount of colors have been packed into this, but it just works. The next MOC is Duranium Duncan, and this is built by, ooh, I'm gonna get this wrong, Sigeti Mate. I'm sorry. Now, this MOC has a very fun play feature on it. As you can see in this image here, the hands just kind of shoot off and become projectile weapons. That's really cool. And looking at it, it's actually not all that complicated of a play feature. They literally just pop off. There's an axle that links into that ball joint there. Plain and simple, it just comes off. But the back also resembles a rocket booster, which is smart. So, hey, this is awesome. There's something nice about a weapon design like this that's just a little bit more iconic and a little bit different and stands out a little. I think that a good weapon design, it can add so much to a character and make it a lot more memorable as well. So next time you build a MOC, see if you can come up with some kind of awesome, distinct, different weapon design, even if it is as simple as detachable limbs, because that's great. There's an interesting, cool little hidden power cell or like an energy capsule or whatever that is specifically on the back here. And I like the fact that it can be concealed by this Borok shell that just kind of, covers it up. That's nice. And I also enjoy the bulkiness of this MOC as well. The big beefy shoulders, the large Chima torso piece with that Zamisphere in the center there. It's just a naturally big piece and it works with that bulky design of this MOC. And then also using those large Mystica shield pieces in silver there as like gauntlets on the arm. Very nice. The next MOC is X the Bounty Hunter, and this is by the Purveyor of Pestilence, otherwise known as Purple Haze. Now, I've seen the aesthetic of a dude with a big hat, a cool-looking cape. You combine it with some epic weapons. I've seen it many times in the multiple years I've looked at Bionicle creations online. But oi, it never gets old. It just always looks insanely cool. So some details on this build that I enjoy include the sort of like sandals that they're wearing. They work well as just a way to buff up that Hero Factory foot piece a little and have it kind of better fit in with the scale of the build. But it also could work as, like I said, sandals or even maybe spurs or some other type of metal padding that could be used to enhance the boots so that if they're kicking and using that as a weapon, there's a bit of extra metal there to make it a little bit more painful. And given that they're a bounty hunter, it makes sense that every part of their body needs to be weaponized in some fashion. So if that's what that is, I love that. Even if that's not what that is, I love that. And speaking of weapons, it's nice to see all the different weapons that they do have in all of these different images. The aesthetic of this MOC makes them feel like some kind of notorious bounty hunter or a cowboy or just some dude that's trained to kill and is very good at it. So, giving them lots of weapons, it's very appropriate for that vibe. Now, I especially love this hidden blade. That might be my favorite weapon here. It's subtle, it's just a Rakshi staff piece, but it translates well, and it's immediately obvious what it is when you look at it. And the fact that it's just one piece that gets the job done, that's even better. Nice work here. The final MOC now is the one you've probably been waiting for since it was in the thumbnail. This is VEZON and FENRAKK by Choi Kong 96. This is awesome. Now, they've taken the, I would say, iconic set of VEZON and FENRAKK and turned it into some kind of eldritch, realistic, sinister creature that's just downright terrifying. I love the ways they've taken the ideas of the original and then translated it onto their MOC. For example, the set had these spider-like legs with silver blades at the tips. But the MOC turns those blades into bones, and they're a little bit more kind of spike-like now, and they continue this spiky aesthetic all over the body. It's really cool. They've also taken the original face design, which was already pretty creepy, but they've really pumped in a huge level of detail to make it look even more sinister. All the different sizes of teeth, they work really well. It just makes it feel all the more monster-like. So many different teeth in so many different shapes and sizes. It's overwhelming, it's horrifying in all the right ways. And I also love that the eye design now is primarily black with that dark red pupil. It's so much more haunting now. I mean, hey, the original Borok eye design worked great, but this one just takes it up another notch. Now, I've been talking a lot about FENRAKK, but let's not forget about VEZON. I love how he's been represented here. I'll quickly quote a little bit of the story behind VEZON from the Bionicle wiki, because I think they complement that very well on this build. So the quote begins, "Upon arriving on the island, the Mask of Life allowed VEZON to reach it. Once he did, the mask cursed him, giving him various powers and fusing him to both itself and an enlarged FENRAKK spider, forcibly making him one of the Mask of Life's guardians." Now, I always love the idea of that, the sort of tragedy of VEZON, him being cursed in that manner. But I always thought it was strange because the set doesn't really make him look all that cursed. He's kind of just standing on top of FENRAKK. He doesn't seem really that fused to him. Yes, you did put a little axle that actually linked the two together, but I feel like they would have put that on anyway, just so that he doesn't fall off all the time if he wasn't cursed in the story. So the fact that he actually fits that description a lot more here. He doesn't have any legs. Instead, he's actually physically fused to the body of FENRAKK. And then the way that they've posed him here, his body's all twisted, and it really does look like he's in pain, which is appropriate for that. And then when we take a look at the head design here, we can see that he's actually missing an eye. Yeah, it really does look like he's been cursed in this version, and that it's not a good thing. He's having a bad time. It's just a lot more appropriate for the backstory, and it's just a lot kind of better represented here. It's very obvious that the builder has read into the backstory of VEZON and FENRAKK, and really tried their best to pump as much of that into the build as they can. Yeah, they really took the original toy and cranked it up to 11, and made it all the more better than it already was. I still love that set. I can't wait to do a review of the actual set itself. But when you see a MOC like this that captures the original essence and makes it even better, that's something very special. So that's it for this Fan Submitted MOCs episode. If you want to see your own MOCs on BIS-MAS Christmas or in any future episode of the show, you can submit them to the submission email that's currently on your screen. If you have any questions about that, be sure to check the pinned video that's at the top of the main page for this channel. There is a specific video that goes in how to submit MOCs for the show. All of your questions will be answered there. And if you don't think your MOC is good enough, you're wrong. It is good enough. Submit it anyway. I had a few people ask a couple questions that I'll just quickly highlight. Some people said, is there a deadline for when they can submit? Not really. I mean, obviously it will be within December for BIS-MAS Christmas, because I plan to do one each week of December. And obviously, the quicker you submit it, the more likely it is that I'll see it and can think about adding it to any episode that I do in December. But submit it whenever you want. Even if it's after December, it can be featured in future episodes. So there isn't really any main deadline there. But know that if I record these in advance and you submit it a little bit later, I may not even see it. So the quicker the better. And I had a lot of people like send me messages of like, oh, did you get my submission and stuff? And I respect where you're coming from. I don't always have time to reply to those. I get those quite a lot. And it would just take me hours to reply to every single person saying, yes, I got your submission. So if I don't immediately reply with a yes, I got your submission, I apologize. I simply just don't have time to reply to it, but it's very likely I did. But given that it's the season of giving, I'll do my best to try and reply to at least a few of those, but I can't promise I'll reply to every single one. Anyway, still love you guys tons. Don't forget to submit stuff. Don't forget to check the links in the description as well to see all of the mocks that were showcased in this episode and see the social media that some of the builders did provide in those submission emails, and check out some of the other stuff that they built. Thanks for watching, guys. Happy building, and bye for now.